there is a profound, almost jarring disconnect between the cultural narrative of early pregnancy and the quiet, brutal reality experienced behind closed doors. We are conditioned to picture glowing mothers, joyous announcements, and immediate maternal connection. But for so many of us, the first trimester is not a season of radiance. It is a season of pure, unadulterated survival. It is waking up in the pre-dawn hours, the house completely silent, feeling a cold, sinking dread in your stomach. Morning sickness is a spectacularly inadequate term for an all-encompassing, full-body takeover that does not care if it is morning, noon, or midnight. It is a relentless, rolling wave of nausea that makes time stand completely still. When you find yourself sitting on the cold tile of a bathroom floor, leaning against the tub for support, the physical depletion is absolute. Your body is undergoing one of the most intense, metabolically demanding transformations a human being can endure. Yet on the outside, there is absolutely nothing to show for it. You look exactly the same to the world. But inside, every cell is working on overdrive, flooded with surging hormones like HCG and progesterone. These hormones, essential for sustaining the delicate new life tethered to you, are the exact same forces bringing you to your knees. The chill in your bones, the desperate need for a warm fleece blanket, the shuddering exhales. These are not signs of weakness. They are the physiological echoes of a massive biological construction project happening in the dark. It is essential to understand that this exhaustion is not a mindset you can simply overcome with a positive attitude, a brisk walk, or a cup of ginger tea. It is a biological mandate demanding that you stop, that you retreat, and that you conserve energy for the monumental task of creating a human organ from scratch. The placenta. The energy required to build this life support system is staggering, pulling from your own reserves, leaving you hollowed out and shivering in the dark. Acknowledging the sheer physical weight of this process is the first step towards self-compassion. You are not failing at being pregnant. Your body is simply succeeding at an extraordinarily difficult task. And the toll it takes is immense. Beyond the physical symptoms, the emotional and psychological isolation of the first trimester is perhaps the heaviest burden of all. You are carrying a secret that feels both terrifyingly fragile and enormously heavy. You walk through the world, navigating grocery store aisles, answering work emails, and nodding through casual conversations. All while feeling like you are wearing a lead suit underwater. The world expects you to operate at your normal baseline. But your baseline has been completely obliterated. This dissonance breeds a unique kind of loneliness. It is the loneliness of fighting an invisible battle that no one else can see, of navigating a profound identity shift in total silence. There is a deeply ingrained societal pressure to push through, to remain productive, to not let the pregnancy slow you down or inconvenience those around you. But this is exactly where the principles of mindful parenting must first be applied. Not to the baby, but to yourself. Mindful motherhood begins right here, on the bathroom floor. It begins with rejecting the dogmatic, toxic positivity that insists every single moment of pregnancy is a blessing to be cheerfully cherished. It is perfectly okay and incredibly valid to hate how you feel right now. Acknowledging your misery does not negate your gratitude for the pregnancy. These two seemingly opposing truths can and do coexist perfectly in the same breath. You can desperately want this baby and simultaneously resent the absolute havoc being wreaked upon your body. When you find yourself questioning your own strength, wondering how you can possibly endure another day or another week of this relentless nausea, you must offer yourself the exact same grace and unconditional empathy that you will one day offer your crying child. The internal dialogue matters immensely. Instead of berating yourself for being unproductive or for crying out of pure exhaustion, you must practice radical self-compassion. You must learn to speak to yourself with the soothing, reassuring tone of a deeply loving friend. The emotional endurance required to survive this phase is just as significant as the physical endurance. By validating your own struggle, you are laying the emotional groundwork for the deeply empathetic parent you are already becoming. This brings us to the most crucial, practical tool for surviving the shadows of the first trimester: the art of complete and utter surrender. In a culture that prizes action, optimization, and constant solutions, the natural instinct is to fight the fatigue. We want to find the magic remedy, the perfect combination of crackers, acupressure wristbands, and hydration schedules that will make the nausea disappear. While mitigating the symptoms is necessary and helpful, the psychological struggle is almost always exacerbated by our fierce resistance to the current reality. Surrender, in this context, does not mean giving up or admitting defeat. It means dropping the rope. In a tug of war, you cannot win. It means accepting that today, your only job is to exist. Your only job is to breathe in and breathe out. If existing means lying motionless on the couch, in a messy, lived-in living room, unable to look at a bright screen or hold a coherent conversation, then that is exactly what you must do, without an ounce of guilt. We must radically redefine what a productive day looks like during the first 12 weeks of pregnancy. A productive day is one where you simply survived the cellular marathon happening inside you. The dirty dishes stacked in the sink, the unfolded laundry waiting in the basket, the unreturned text messages. They are completely irrelevant in the face of what your body is accomplishing. To practice gentle parenting with yourself in this phase is to lovingly lower the bar to the absolute floor. It is about trusting the natural flow of your body's demands over any rigid schedule you previously held. When the exhaustion hits, pulling you down with the gravity of 100 oceans, you must listen. Do not fight the heavy pull of sleep. Do not try to rationalize away the profound need to rest. The body possesses a deep, ancient, and undeniable wisdom. It knows precisely what it is doing, even when your conscious mind feels completely disconnected and out of control. By surrendering to the physical toll, by choosing rest over the illusion of control, you are learning to adapt, to pivot, and to honor the present moment. Yet, even in the darkest, coldest depths of this physical depletion, there are moments of profound anchoring that carry us through. The dawn eventually breaks, no matter how long the night has felt. The cool, isolated grey light of early morning slowly shifts into the warm, golden, peach-toned hues of a new day. And it is often in these quiet, sunlit moments that a subtle but powerful psychological shift occurs. It is not a magical cure for the nausea, nor does it immediately erase the exhaustion, but rather it offers a gentle, necessary reframing of the suffering. For many mothers, this vital anchor comes in the form of a simple, crinkled piece of glossy paper, the early ultrasound scan. When you slowly reach for that scan on the bedside table, feeling its crisp texture between your tired fingers, you are actively bridging the gap between the invisible agony and the tangible reality of life. Holding that image to the morning light, tracing the faint, almost imperceptible shape of the tiny heartbeat, changes the very frequency of the room. It takes the hollow, melancholic exhaustion and grounds it in a profound, quiet resolve. That tiny, rhythmic flicker on the screen, captured in stark black and white, is the ultimate why behind the brutal how. It gives the suffering a distinct, beautiful, and undeniable purpose. You realize you are building a sanctuary for that very heartbeat. Every shuddering exhale, every moment spent shivering under a fleece blanket, every day you feel entirely depleted. It is all serving that tiny spark of life. As the warm light of the morning sun envelops you in your armchair, there is a physical relaxation that washes over your tense shoulders. It is a moment of profound, mindful stillness. You are no longer just surviving the hour. You are connecting with your future. You are forging the very first unbreakable bonds of motherhood. Forged not in perfect, glowing, curated moments, but in the gritty, relentless, authentic trenches of physical sacrifice. This quiet communion with your baby is a testament to human resilience and the staggering power of a mother's endurance. To every mother watching the sun rise from a bathroom floor, feeling the heavy, suffocating weight of first trimester exhaustion, you must know that you are part of a massive, silent, and incredibly strong sisterhood. Across the globe, in countless dimly lit rooms, women are enduring this exact same physical and emotional initiation. You are not alone in the dark. Your struggles, your fears, your moments of feeling utterly overwhelmed and desperate for relief, they are all a valid, deeply human part of the gentle saga of motherhood. There is absolutely no shame in finding this incredibly hard, because it is unequivocally, objectively hard. We must speak about these shadows before the glow, bringing the raw reality into the light so that no mother ever has to feel broken, weak, or inadequate for struggling to survive the first 12 weeks. This brutal phase is temporary. Even though it feels completely endless when you are caught within its grip, the heavy nausea will eventually lift, the mental fog will clear, and your energy will slowly begin to return. But the quiet, fierce strength you are cultivating right now, the ability to endure, to surrender, to practice self-compassion, and to love deeply even when you are entirely depleted. That strength is permanent. It will become the foundational bedrock of your entire parenting journey. It will be the deep well of patience you draw from during the 4-month sleep regression, during the turbulent toddler tantrums, and during the countless sleepless nights to come. You are already parenting. You are already providing. You are already making the ultimate sacrifices for your child, long before they take their first breath. So, let the living room stay messy. Let the laundry pile up without a second thought. Wrap yourself in the softest blanket you can find. Watch the warm morning light stretch across the floor and simply breathe. Take it 1 hour, one breath, one gentle moment at a time. The dawn in the dark is incredibly hard, but it is leading you directly to the most beautiful morning of your entire life. Trust your body. Honor your exhaustion. And hold tight to that little heartbeat